Good morning, children. Today we will cover the topic lesson number 8, verbs, active and passive voice. So before we begin, let us understand some important points. So first point is intransitive verbs cannot be expressed in passive. Now what is the meaning of intransitive verbs? Let's see an example. They laughed heartily. So what is the verb here? Laughed. So you cannot express that in passive voice writing that heartily they laughed. This is incorrect sentence. So verb which doesn't have any object, heartily is not the object, it is adverb. So the verb which doesn't have an object is intransitive verb. It cannot be expressed in passive. Now second example. In the passive voice, we use past participle form of the verb. So whenever you are making any sentence into passive, you use the past participle form of the verb. Let's take an example. The crowd blocked the roads. Now tell me, which is the verb? Blocked. Now what is the past participle of the word blocked? Were blocked. Very correct, because the roads were blocked by the crowd. Now why I have written this sentence into passive voice is your third important point. Now understand that in the passive voice, subject becomes the object and object becomes the subject. See children, active and passive voice is very easy, but you have to understand a simple point which I am explaining it through this. Example, a racing car hit the cyclist. So before we move any further, we know that this is active. A racing car hit the cyclist. Now we have to first understand which is the subject in this example. A racing car. The thing we are talking here is the subject. Now which is the thing we are talking about here? A racing car. And object means the thing which is being talked about. The cyclist becomes the object here. And hit is the verb. Now what did I say? The subject becomes the object and object becomes the subject. So your answer in passive voice becomes the cyclist. See, the cyclist here was the object. So what did I do? I made it the subject. The cyclist. What is the past participle of hit? Cyclist is singular. Past participle is was hit. So the cyclist was hit by, here the subject was a racing car. It became the object. So your answer becomes the cyclist was hit by a racing car. Again try and understand here. The cyclist is the object which became the subject and racing car was the subject which became the object. And hit, we use the past participle of this word. So this is very easy if you try and understand it in this way. Now come to the fourth important point. Ditransitive verbs can have two passive forms. Now di means two. Ditransitive means जिसके दो objects हैं. Sentence में उस verb के दो objects हैं. That verb becomes ditransitive verb. Say for example, his colleagues gave him a present. Now, according to the last example we saw, third example, his colleagues is the subject, and here can you see him is indirect object and present is direct object. So how many objects can you see in this example? There are two objects in this example. So there will be two passive forms which can be formed in this example. First is he was given a present by his colleagues. Now here him, which was the object, when we take it as the subject, you cannot say him was given a present. Him is incorrect. It becomes he. He was given. Gave past participle, he is singular, so was given. So he was given a present by his colleagues. A present which was direct object, you took it here, and by his colleagues, because colleagues in both the cases it is the subject, so it will come as the object. So he was given a present by his colleagues is also correct. Second option which you can make into passive is a present, taking which object to the front? Direct object to the front. So a present was given to him by his colleagues. So there are two possible ways in which you can make your sentence into passive when you have ditransitive verbs. Now last important point which you have to understand is future continuous and perfect continuous tenses do not have passive forms. Any sentence which is in future continuous or any sentence which is in perfect continuous will not have any passive forms. So this was just an introductory video where you could understand active and passive voice. I will be solving 1 or 2 examples of each exercise which will make your concept much clear.